California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa joins us now. He is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. Quick question. When are our strikes finally going to give the message to Iran to stop attacking us? Are they working?
When they strike Iranian targets that have Iranians in them, then they will get the message. As you previously reported, the week that they were given was an opportunity to get all of the Iranians out of the sites that were hit. That's almost like saying we really don't want to even indirectly hit Iran. There's a spy ship sitting in the middle of the Red Sea that, in fact, we could sink today or take over. There's plenty of things we could do directly to get Iran to stop their behavior. We're not doing it.
Congressman, in the New York Post over the weekend, Michael Goodwin wrote a piece. He said Joe Biden is playing fire in the Middle East and risking World War III. I've always talked about deterrence in these situations. That is not an out that Joe Biden has used effectively. Just saying don't do this or don't do that obviously hasn't worked. And then you've got him putting pressure on Netanyahu right now to create a Palestinian state. It seems like just an awful time to do that when Israel is still so raw and wounded from what happened on October 7th, and there's still hostages in captivity.
You're exactly right. Decisive action is what causes a change in behavior. You can escalate by slowly tit for tatting, and that's what President Biden and Blinken are doing, is they're escalating by simply going back and forth and not stopping it. You mentioned fire. You put out a small fire quickly with a whole bunch of water, or you wait a while and no amount of water is going to extinguish it. That's where we're getting. There's an escalation simply by going back and forth, and they are escalating it. They have more locations. They will kill more Americans. They already have given a nod to killing Israelis, both on the northern front with Hezbollah and obviously the terrorist attack of the Hamas that killed over 1,000 innocent Israelis.
Congressman, I want to switch to the border for a second, if I can. I know you're not a supporter of the most recent border bill, but I have to ask you, for Californians, especially those you represent, you know, Texas is building barriers that are keeping migrants out. They're moving down the line, many of them now to California. So if this bill fails, given the lack of effort we've seen from Biden and every other front, does that mean things get much worse for your constituents in California when it comes to illegal migration?
Things are going to get worse. There's no question at all that new laws not enforced, new capability not used, will mean that we'll continue to have an escalation of people who, for self-interest, are coming to America in ever greater numbers, and of course the potential terrorists that are coming through with them. There's no question at all that the existing rules that were in place when President Biden took office would have prevented this, which means that any new law is really irrelevant. Enforcement of existing laws. Now, don't get me wrong, I would happily give the president some reforms that would help him, but he has to show a willingness to use the laws he has, and he hasn't done that.
Well said, Congressman. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us today.
Thank you.